Hi, thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited. Today we're doing an interview with Gregory Rich at the district. And I'm sure you know everybody loves looking at new homes and they love looking at the staging. And a lot of people go just to find out what that is. But did you know how important design really is? Like take a look at Apple or Tesla. You have the combination of both really great design and really great engineering. And don't you want your house to be the same way? So many people, when they move, they don't know what to do. And sometimes they bring their old furniture with them and it just doesn't work. So, design really defines how you live in your home. So, before we get into it, we will in just a minute. I'd love for you to sign in below. Let me know if you have questions, what you'd like to see, what you don't want to see, or just give me a call. So, without much more ado, let's dive in to our interview with Gregory Rich at Habitation at the District in Edina. Do you know why design is important? Well, we're here today with Gregory Rich of the District in Edina to talk about design, why it's important to you and your family. Gregory, thank you so much for letting us come today. It's such a pleasure to be here. I love your showrooms. So can you tell us a little bit, who is the district, what it is, and what was the inspiration?
Sure. Well, it's great to have you here, Joe. Thank you so much. The District Edina is the building located on Washington Avenue in Edina, right at the intersection of Bloomington, Eden Prairie, and the city of Edina. And it's this beautiful property located on 9 Mile Creek. Cross a little bridge to get to it in this fabulous mid-century modern design building that I acquired in 2020 and have redeveloped into, as you said, the District Edina, which is a collection of building, remodeling related showrooms on 3 floors. One of the showrooms is my own, which is Habitation, Furnishing, and Design. Which is essentially an interior design studio with some incredibly talented interior designers that are dedicated to making spaces, as we like to say, exceptional.
So where did the inspiration for this come from?
You know, it's an interesting question, and I get asked that from time to time. And the truth is this: I realized that the most valuable resource any of us have is time. And people who are involved in larger scale or substantial building remodeling projects, have to go from one location to another, to drive from one part of town to another part of town, because you've got to see your kitchen and bathroom people, you've got to see your interior design people, your flooring people. So rather than scattering that all over the place, I said, let's aggregate everything under one roof. We'll carefully curate some absolutely exceptional suppliers. And then we'll be able to bring people in and they can basically go through and in one day check off half of their building remodeling list, if not more.
And people, sorry for interrupting, but people really don't realize how much goes into that process, how time consuming, and how many decisions are made.
It's absolutely true. And all the decisions are, if you're doing the project properly, interrelated. So let's take interior design and flooring, for example. Well, you may want to create the perfect living room while you're doing a building or remodeling project in your living room. And you have to figure out, well, what is the flooring that you're going to use? And is that going to work with the sofa or the chairs that we're selecting?
Oh, and your old red table and chairs.
Exactly. So what we've created at the district is essentially a chance to go in. You can go to Interfall Window Treatments and Flooring, take a look at their flooring, work very closely with Andrea, who is absolutely one of the most talented people I've ever met.
She is so knowledgeable. I had an interview with her and, it's overwhelming, the understanding that she has of the process and how to do it right.
Exactly. And, she just understands so much, being third generation construction, so much about what goes
I
into.
picture this little girl with a tool belt.
I know. And you know what? You can actually see her with that the hard hat, and then she comes in and she's going to tell every person exactly what they should be doing, and
Yes,
it's going to come out absolutely perfectly. So she's got the flooring showroom. So what we can do is, someone may be meeting with her, selecting 3-4 flooring options, and then instead of taking those samples and then driving across town to an interior design studio, instead you just come up to the penthouse level of the district with those samples. Andrea comes with you. And you will sit down with one of our designers, take a look at the specific products, our samples, and in literally the course of a short period of time, you have a perfectly coordinated space.
You find, well, from my experience, people love to build their Pinterest boards.
Mm-hmm.
But what looks good on Pinterest sometimes doesn't translate.
It's very true. And there's so much more that goes into it. I mean, there was, I think we're entering a phase where people are looking for expertise. We've all kind of tried to do everything on our own. The internet came along, and suddenly it was easy to take a look at lighting fixtures online. It was easy to take a look at sofas or what have you. But there's so much more that goes into a proper interior design plan than just whether this is pretty together.
Oh, what all works together, and the kind of lighting. I'm sure you're using a lot more LED lighting these days before. And do you find that people, and I see this in new construction, people don't know what to do. They get overwhelmed, so they need experience, or they need a hand to bring it all together.
Mm-hmm. It's absolutely true. I mean, I have an expression that I like to use, which is experience gives you the ability to see the future. And it really does. This is the first time most people have done, let's say, the building of a house. They don't know what to expect. Andrea does. She's seen it happen a bunch of times, so she can predict what pitfalls there are. The same is true of interior design. You may think that by picking a color that works with another color and a chair that looks like another chair, that's all there is to it. But the truth is, you may find that once you order the sofa, it may be the wrong seating height compared to the coffee table that you have, or anything along those lines. Where the designers
what people consider, like, aren't there 300 shades of red?
It's right, exactly.
And there are probably how many variations on gray?
Yeah.
To make sure that they all work together.
Yes, absolutely endless. And unless you've been trained, and my designers are interior designers rather than decorators, which means that they've had formal training, they have design degrees, and they understand how colors interact with one another.
In talking about that, when I work with clients, everyone comes in with an opinion. And they'll all tell me what they want, but it's not based on experience.
Mm-hmm. And that's true. And experience is critical. I mean, it really is. When you're working with a designer, it's important to express to them what you want. I mean, our job is to give you the perfect space, and the only way you can do that is if you understand what the client wants. But alternatively, I have an expression that I like to use, which is that the greatest luxury of the 21st century is freedom from choice. We all have endless seas of options. Every morning we wake up, we decide from hundreds of news sources where we want to get our news. If we want to buy a television, there are hundreds of televisions that you can buy.
And I have to tell you, when we were talking about the Wall Street broker, they know that they don't know this. And they are happy to send it over.
Exactly. Someone knows what they're doing. Someone who knows the right questions to ask. Because you may have a vision, and a Pinterest board could be extremely helpful, but that vision, you have to be able to evoke what's behind those Pinterest boards. What is it that you like?
So Andrea is at Immerfall with flooring and windows and doors. And who else do you have in the building so far?
Sure. Well, we have 9 Mile Gallery, which is a high-end original fine art gallery, which is located on the penthouse level. And that's being run by artist John Gerber. And it's just some gorgeous original fine art by local artists who have national reputations. We have Vogel Construction as well. We have Satori Kitchen and Bath. We have Home Media Innovations, which is a smart home installation company.
Now, talking about smart homes, that portion alone can go on forever.
Oh my God, it's insane.
Every piece of equipment I have is smarter than I am.
It's absolutely true, and everybody's listening to it at all times. But it's amazing. I mean, you can walk in and you can jettison the whole place up. Lights up, music on, and the smart home concept, of course, is full integration of an entire house.
Right.
So you're no longer managing your stereo separately and your lights, everything.
No, you are 100% dependent on your cell phone.
Is absolutely true.
Absolutely.
And then we also have some business-oriented tenants within the building. So we have a State Farm office that is going in on the creek level. And then we also have title specialists, which is a title company also on that level.
So right after they're closing,
Mhm.
they come up here and make a selection so they don't drag their own furniture
That's
into
exactly
the
it.
house.
That's exactly it.
Well, can we talk about that? Who is your client, basically?
From a habitation perspective,
Yes.
Habitation has basically two primary demographics that we are working with. People who are downsizing are a big part of the clientele. Specifically, if you're moving from your 5,000 square foot home in Plymouth to maybe a 2-bedroom condominium in Minneapolis, and you suddenly find that the oversized sofas that you have are not going to work. And because you have a
And they
small,
look like Fred Flintstone anyway.
they do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick on the overstuffed brown sofas, but if you have an overstuffed brown sofa, call me.
Your kids don't want it either.
It's very true, but they'll charge you to store it. It's people who are kind of moving to a smaller space, and that requires a heck of a lot of expertise, because if you do have a smaller space, you need to know how to make every part of that functional.
And I think the lifestyle is a shock.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you buy a new home or you move,
Mhm.
it's a new lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And people are, every conversation I have with movers is the same conversation.
Mhm.
What do we do with all the stuff? Where did it come from? How do we get rid of it? What is my next step?
Yes.
And then they look at a vacant property and they go, I have no idea what works for me anymore.
Yes, and you need some guidance in it. I mean, and that's what they're looking for, and that's what we can really provide. And because we have 60-some vendors that we work with at Habitation, because when you're working with a design firm like Habitation, you're not coming in and buying this chair. That's not really in our interest, is to say, this is a chair that we want you to take home today, or even necessarily order and send back. What we do is we create a customized interior plan for you. And then as you're coming through the space and we're speccing out different products, we can take you and say the sofa that you're going to be ordering is not this sofa, but this is the manufacturer, and this is a similar set, so you get a sense of what it's going to feel like. So you're ordering based on the design we're creating, but you're getting some tactile experience to understand what you're going to actually.
And can you talk a little bit about the heights of like the coffee table, the depths of the sofa, what people don't realize?
It is true. I mean, everything plays together. Everything is integrated. So if you were to go and order online a chair and a side table, well, that side table has to actually work with the height of the armrest that you have.
Yes.
And if you don't, it's either going to look bad or it's going to function poorly, and there's not much you can do about that. Whereas a design professional is going to take a look at the functional aspect of it, does everything work together, as well as the aesthetics at a grander level. One of the things that always is kind of interesting is that people do like to choose their own product sometimes. And when you're doing an interior design plan, sometimes they may decide that one piece isn't exactly what they want. But the reason that may have been spec'd is because the legs on that chair may coordinate with the credenza that's being
Sure.
for you.
Sure.
And once you see it all comes together, you understand you've created a cohesive whole, and that's going to be much more satisfying for you than just having various pieces that you like individually.
So tell me, when you have completed this with a client, what is their reaction?
Oh, it is. It's almost like having a new space that you never expected. I mean, so much, we take pride in the client satisfaction that we get when we're done with the overall production.
Do you find, and here's my thought, with people, the longer you live in a house, the less you tend to do, and you go, I'll live with it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, you make compromises, but why should you do that? I mean, this is your home. This is where you spend all of your time.
Don't you feel like it's a burden being lifted from people?
Without a doubt.
You know, I carry all these compromises all the time.
Yeah.
And Andrea was talking about people sometimes don't want to entertain because they don't have the space they want to entertain in. It's not that they don't like people.
Yes.
It's just
Yes.
they hate their kitchen.
Yes.
They live with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would think that this is a burden is lifted. Now I can live the life I want.
And that's absolutely spot on. You are absolutely right, because you may want to have guests over, and it may be a configuration issue. I mean, we do a lot of work where we don't necessarily replace all of your pieces. We may come in and take a look at what you've got and what pieces you really like and what pieces bring you joy, and then integrate that into a different plan and maybe change it or work around based on how you want to live your life rather than where you are.
So do you do all this design work by yourself, or do you have studios themselves?
I do not do any of the work myself. I am not a designer, but I have an incredible staff of interior designers who are available and who are willing to come out and do some work.
They're right behind us, aren't they?
They are indeed. This is what we call the creative corner, where we have our 3 interior design staff that are ready to work with you, and they can work in virtually any style that you're looking for. Habitation specializes in a modern aesthetic, or traditionally has, but we also do traditional, we also do transitional, and we also do some really cool, funky things. And one of the nice things about the Habitation showroom at the district is that we have a series of vignettes set up that kind of show different styles.
Okay, so where can people find you? What do you want them to know about finding the district? Now, you're in Edina.
We are in Edina. So the district Edina, we are located right at the intersection of 494 and 169 on 9 Mile Creek. Beautiful space. The address is 7777 Washington Avenue South.
You want them to call in for an appointment?
You are absolutely welcome to drop by or call for an appointment. Habitation is at 952-426-3548. And we are open Monday through Saturday and by appointment on Sundays.
Wonderful. So, Greg, where are you going to be in 5 years? Where is the district going to be?
The district, the expectation is that we're going to be opening additional district buildings around the Twin Cities and outside of the state. So we're already looking for an east side location, so the second district, and the reason we call it the district Edina is because the next will be the district Woodbury, or perhaps the district Rochester, and then basically create a model that we're going to use time and
Can
again.
reproduce.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, Design Center all in one.
Design Center, all in one. Please come out and wander through. Some of the showrooms are still being built out,
Great.
but we are open and we are functioning. So
Wonderful.
I'm not down.
Thank you so much for having us here.
My pleasure. Great job.
Great.
You're wonderful.
Thank you, and do check out the district. Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
So thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed that, and I do hope that you would check out the district. There's several different sellers there. There is, as he said, remodelers, smart homes, title company, Sartori Kitchens, and the art gallery. And what we didn't talk about was the wonderful entertainment spaces that they have. A beautiful kitchen and big entertainment space. So I hope to see you next week. Don't forget to sign in and stay tuned.